everybody, it's Carol. Welcome to my channel at Refunction Crafts, and I'm going to bring you another video today to show you how to embellish a badge reel and make it. I know this seems a little bit elegant, but you know what? Some people have jobs where they dress very well, or they have to go to events and things where they still have to look nice, but they still have to wear their work badge. So I came up with this idea. And the reason I came up with this idea was because my friend Debbie Cottrell, who has a shop on Facebook called Kiki's Sale, made me a whole bunch of these little cameos. And they're made out of resin. She's got the molds for these things, and so she's made me a bunch of cameos and sent them to me. And then a few of these are actually cameos that she sells in her Facebook store called Kiki's Sale. And so that's where I've gotten these other really pretty ones. So anyway, I wanted to start doing something with these cameos because I have a bunch of them and I love them so much. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to do a quick video. Hopefully it's going to be a fairly quick video. And dress up a few of these badge reels. This is what they come like. I buy these on Amazon. And they come in a package of, let's see, of 10 badge reels, and I don't remember the price, but what I will do is I'll put the link in the drop down menu below so that you'll know where you can pick these up at, and you can check out the price when you click on the link. So anyway, these are the regular badge reels, although these are a higher quality than you will find in a lot of other products that you'll see. Basically, this is made with a metal product rather than plastic, whereas a lot of the badge reels that you'll get are plastic. So these are a much higher quality, and honestly, they were the perfect shape for these cameos, and that was what made me think to do these with the cameos. So this is the one that I made sort of as my first go round. And so now we're going to go ahead and set that aside. I'll set it over here. And these are some of the little cameos that I have here. I guess I'll use this one. You can see it a little better. And I'm just going to show you sort of what we'll be using today. I don't know that we'll be using all of these, but we will be using some of them. So these are the cameos that I've taken out to possibly use in some of these batch reels. So they really are gorgeous, and you won't see anybody else with their badges looking this nice. I know for me, I used to work in hospice, and when I worked in hospice, I was a volunteer supervisor. And so I was responsible for, you know, training volunteers and doing that sort of thing. And we also had to do, every year we had to do an event which was called Wings of Hope. And what that was it was an event where all of the family members who had lost loved ones over that past year were invited to come to this event. And we, meaning the staff, would get fairly dressed up. And everybody would get up and speak, you know, to the families, and we would do a butterfly release. So that was kind of what the event was about, was, you know, the transformation of, you know, people going from their life here on Earth to their journey going on to, you know, the next part of their journey. Anyway, so we had to dress up. And we had to also keep our badges on. So these would have been really, really nice to have to decorate our lanyards with, you know, when we were wearing our badges. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started on these. The first one that I'm going to do is actually, what I'll show you is how I put the, we're going to use some of this rhinestone chain. This is 4mm rhinestone, and I will put the link to this chain also down below in the drop down menu. I buy this also on Amazon. And so we're going to use some of this rhinestone chain. The other thing that I've got is some other little embellishments that I'm not sure that we're even going to use. We may not. I just don't know. And what I use a lot of, and you can see here, is I use a lot of earrings and things. I have a little local shop that I'm able to buy, you know, sets of earrings like these inexpensively, and add them to my projects. And they're just kind of blingy and pretty and really nice to use. And they don't, you know, they don't cost me a fortune. So this one here is what I used in this badge reel. So I used that earring. That was an earring that I took apart. So these are some of my embellishments. And then I also have some that I got from Kiki's sale. Let me show you the ones that came from Kiki's sale. Actually, most of them did. She has got the most beautiful stuff. I just love her things, and they go in just about everything that I make. So I'll put the link to Kiki's sale down at the bottom of the description menu, so that if you're interested in going over there and checking out what Debbie has on her Saturday night sale. She does sales every Saturday night, so you can get over there and check that out for tomorrow night. I know she's doing a sale at 8 p.m. Central Time. So get over there, join the group. You have to join the group in order to get in on the sale. So make sure you do that and take a look at what she's got. I'm sure you'll be excited. She's got laces and bling and all kinds of good things. So anyway, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this reel and we're going to put some rhinestone around the edge, because these are going to be fancy badge reels. And what I want to do is I'm going to use this little lid from, you know, salad dressing that you get when you eat fast food. And I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of E6000 glue into this little dish here, so that I can use a toothpick to, I'm just using a regular toothpick to get this glue. We're going to put a little bit on the toothpick, and we're going to gently go around the edge of this badge and just kind of lay the glue on there. See how I'm sort of stretching and it's just kind of falling into place. This is ultimately the way you want your E6000 to go on, and it's not so messy and all over everything. But you have to be super careful, and it's not always easy to get E6000 to lay down like that the way that you want it to. Sometimes it just gets messy. So we're going around the entire reel, and see, now it's not really stretching out, but I didn't put as much on the second time around. So hopefully I'm not getting off camera and you guys are getting this entire shot. And we're going to lay it around, get around here to the top. And we've got our E6000 all the way around the reel. Did get a little bit on my thumb here. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my rhinestone chain, and with this one, with this first layer, well, yeah, we're going to try and lay it so that the rhinestone faces up. So we want it to look up at us. But I want to keep it around the outside of the black part of the badge reel. So I don't want to put it up on top of it. I'm putting it around the outside and trying to get it to continue to face upwards. And this particular one is going to have a couple of layers of rhinestones, and I'll show you what I mean by that when I get to the cameo that I'm going to be putting on top. I've got to take my little handy dandy nippers, jewelry nippers, and I'm going to cut this right here and lay this down, and then we'll mess with it just a little bit to make sure that we've got it all in the places we want it. And I'm just kind of, oopsie, just kind of adjusting these, because again, I want them to all point upwards. That is how this is going to look the best. And the thing that happens, you have to be really careful, and it's probably happened to me here. So mistakes are good in videos because that way I get to make the mistake and you don't. So because I didn't have it laying down flat the first time around, what's happened is, I see this little empty space right here. I'm going to have to add a rhinestone or two into that location, because when the rhinestones are, let me show you with this chain, when I'm putting them around and they're laying this way, which is sideways, your rhinestone is here on this edge. It takes less rhinestone to go around that way. When you lay it so that the rhinestones are sticking straight up on top of your project and facing upwards, it will take a couple more rhinestones to complete that edge. So, and I don't know if I'm going to need one or two here. I'm going to cut one off. It's okay though, it's not the end of the world. You can add an extra rhinestone at the end if you need to. I'm just going to take a little of this E6000 just to make sure I have some sort of wet glue on there. Didn't get enough on the tip there. And I'm just going to add a little bit of that there, just to make sure that this last little rhinestone is going to stick, because it's going to be sort of by itself, which doesn't really mean anything. As long as it's in there and it's in the same place as the other ones, it's not going to have any more trouble sticking than the rest of them. And because we're using E6000, once that E6000 cures, these are going to stay on this piece and they are not going to fall off. So let me just turn this one a little bit. Okay, so that's what we've got. We've got our reel and we've got our rhinestones around the edge. So what I'm going to do with this particular one is I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use this cameo. Look at how pretty that is. But you see, this cameo has a little extra space around the edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this cameo on the top. Normally I would put the rhinestone on the cameo ahead of time before I put it on there. But because of the way that this badge reel is made, I want to be able to lay those rhinestones in there in a way that they lay nicely. And the best way to do that and get the best fit is to do it, to do the rhinestones after I lay it in. I'm adding just a touch of hot glue, and it's Gorilla Glue, so that this will stick down immediately. And I'm going to turn it towards me so that I don't have it turned the wrong way or crooked. We want to make sure our piece is on there straight, our focal point. And she's in there beautifully. And that Gorilla Hot Glue has already stuck. So on this you can see now, see how it's got a little bit of black around the edge? We really don't want that black to show. So the way that we rectify that and even add more beauty is by, let's see, I'm gonna going to go out, pan out a little bit, is we're going to add more rhinestone just around the top here, around this cameo. And you'll barely see the rhinestones underneath, but that's okay because it still gives it that double layered effect, especially in certain areas where, like on the sides, where this piece has even a little more space than the top and bottom, and that's okay. It's really gonna be pretty, you guys. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take some more E6000, and it's actually getting a little bit sticky, so I think I want to put fresh glue out to use. It feels like once again my E6000 is starting to it seems like it just doesn't last as long as it used to. I don't know why, but it seems like the E6000 tubes are, and I don't know if they're like a little older by the time I'm getting them off the shelf or what's happening, but they seem to dry out a little faster than they used to. I never used to have that problem with them. Now the E6000, if you're wondering where you can get that, I also get that on Amazon, or you can, I purchase it several places. I buy it on Amazon, which is actually, for the E6000, not the very best place to get it, and I'll tell you why. Because on Amazon, for some reason, I seem to only be able to get the wide tube, the tube that has the wide mouth. And I like the tube that has the pointy neck, because then I can control, if I want to use it straight from the tube onto my project, I can control it a little bit better. So personally, I buy it at either Michael's or Home Depot. They both always have it, and they always have the pointy nosed tubes, so I'm able to squeeze it out directly on my projects, and that's what I like to be able to do. Sometimes I have to still use the toothpick if I want to get even more control, but if I can squeeze it out, I prefer to do that. And I know there are tips that you can also buy to use with the E6000. Those tips are not my friend. And the reason being is that they seem to always end up getting clogged up on me. And then I have a real problem trying to get my adhesive out. So I prefer to just do it this way, use the tip that's on there, and try to keep at least the opening part unplugged. And then I'm good to go. So that's just what I do. We're going to nip this off here. My nippers are just not working well right now. They're just, I guess I bought cheaper nippers and they just they aren't holding up. I wish. I've bought a few pairs now, and none of them have been as good as the ones that I used to use, 15 years ago. Those lasted me 15 years. Now the ones that I've bought are lasting me less than a year, maybe 6 months or whatever. And then they're so dull they won't cut. And then the other problem is that they tend to pinch me. If I squeeze them in a certain way, I get my finger in where this little thing is, and I end up with a pinch like that. You can see I pinched myself today on those. And it smarts. So here we go. We've got this one in there, and you can see there's 2 layers of rhinestones on this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dress up this just a little bit more by adding a pretty focal point on the plastic piece. But I think what I'm going to do, instead of using that big rose, I think I'm going to use one of these small little resin flowers that my friend sent me in Happy Mail. And we're just going to put a little bit of E6000 on that. I don't think I got enough. A little bit more. It's a little bit clumpy. And then we're just going to lay that on there. And we're going to let it dry. And that's all there is to it, guys. I'm going to make a couple more of these for you because my video is only at 20 minutes. Now this next one will go even faster. And the reason it's going to go even faster is I've got this one that already has rhinestone around the outside. And if you'll notice, it also has a flower on the plastic. And what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to use this cameo, and I'm just going to glue it to the top of this reel because we've already got those rhinestones there, and you can see those rhinestones around the outside of this. And if you see, this has a ton of rhinestones. This one is going to be just a stunner because it's going to have so much bling. Let's see. I'm just trying to wipe my E6000 here a little bit. Okay. So what we're going to do, I think, is we're going to put some glue here in the center. And I'm going to add a little bit of E6000 to the edges here of this piece. I don't want to get too much there. And maybe just a tad in the center. And then I'm going to take my Gorilla hot glue, and I'm just going to add a tiny bit of that to the inside here so that we can lay this down and hopefully get this to stick while it's curing. And there we have it, you guys. There's another one. Another beautiful cameo badge reel. Now I'm not selling these with the lanyard straps, so these are something that you would add to whatever lanyard you have. Let me show you that cameo just so you can get a close-up on it. Really, really beautiful. And these things sparkle like crazy. I don't know if you're getting much of the sparkle on there with the lighting that I have. Okay, so there's a couple that are done. Let's see if we can do one more, you guys. This one, let's see. I may do something a little different with this one. How's that sound? This one, I think I'm just gonna, just to give you kind of a different idea, I'm gonna use this little elephant here, and this is actually from an earring I bought. Oops, I'm clipping it the wrong way. I'm clipping off the loop at the top, and this was a pair of little elephant earrings, let me show you, that came in a package like this with two of the elephant earrings, and that's what the elephant looks like. Really super pretty. And then I'm just gonna take, and we're just gonna go with the elephant on this one. We're not gonna put anything else on it. My glue, oh goodness, is oozing everywhere because my lid isn't going on correctly. And that would be my fault because I haven't cleaned the edge of this tube well enough. Okay, so I have put E6000 on this elephant here. I'm going to put a dot of hot glue in a couple of spots. And this is Gorilla, again, this is Gorilla hot glue. And I'm going to turn this little guy around and try and center him. But I figured with this turquoisey and silver look, the black background will be really pretty for this one. So I thought this would be a nice piece to use. So there we go. we have another badge reel all completed. Again, these are really high quality badge reels, and I will be selling these in my Etsy shop. I'm going to be making some more. Also, I may include a couple of kits in my store. I may try to see how those go. If people want to make their own, we can I can try selling some kits. Whether or not the kits, what they will probably have is a few different pieces. I may, if I have them, there'll only be like 3 or 4 kits available. I may do some different kits where I add maybe some wood pieces that you can add to them, and then add, say even, let's see, I'm going to cut off another elephant here. And what I do when I cut these things off is I have a small metal file. You can buy these very cheaply in some of the dollar stores. And then I take and I just kind of file the edge where I've nipped off that metal loop so that it's not rough and pokey, because you don't want it to scratch anybody or poke anybody. So just with a little bit of filing, you can get that nice and smooth. So say I was to put that on there, and then maybe even one of these little elephants, because that design on that piece of wood kind of goes with the boho style of that little elephant. So, and again, that's just laying there, but you know what? In fact, guys, I think I'll just go ahead. Well, I'm not going to glue that on right now because there's some other things I would need to do with that one before I get it. But you can see where I'm going with this. I've got some little, I've got like this little owl, and this is a metal, like a little filigree owl. It can be kind of bent to fit the reel. I think this is one that I'm going to be making and actually selling in my shop completed. But that's it, you guys. Just wanted to show you how you could make some of these yourself. And even like with this one, maybe not this one, but even one of these, I could have chosen to say, put a little bit of, this doesn't really go with it, but a little bit of a lace trim piece on there instead of the flower, you know. So there's a lot of things you can do with this to make it fun and interesting. And be on the lookout in my store. If I'm going to have some kits, I will have them there before this video is posted. I just have to kind of decide what to put in those kits. I'm really not sure because I hadn't thought about it until just now. And again, if you've watched my butterfly video, I was able to buy some more butterflies and things to make additional kits. So I do still have a few of those kits in my store. If you're interested in trying that project, and in order to know how to do it, all you got to do is watch my video tutorial on how to embellish them. And that's a really, really fun project as well. I've sold a ton of those kits, let me tell you. That was a super popular project. And so I'm trying to come up with some more projects that I can do kits for so that you guys are able to get the same products that I'm using in my tutorials and do your own pieces with those. So because sometimes I think, you know, you guys come to the channel because you want to watch the videos and learn how to do it yourself. And you know, it's great that I can sell the finished products, and I do usually sell the finished products in my store as well. But isn't it great when you can watch a video and then buy the parts and pieces and make it yourself? To me, that's the ultimate. I enjoy crafting and using my own artistic abilities and generally putting kind of my own twist on things. So I invite you to, you know, let me know if you think kits for these would be great. I'd be happy to come up with some other ideas and things to put together with them so that you guys can make your own. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you're not already a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button down below and hit the notification button as well so that you'll be notified when I do new videos. And any suggestions for things that you'd like to see that I haven't done yet, please make those suggestions down below and I'll be happy to look into it and see if it's something that I can put together and do a tutorial on. I love what I do and I love helping y'all out, and I hope y'all have a really, really great weekend. It's Friday for me. I know not all of you be watching this on Friday, but it's Friday for me. Looking forward to the weekend, and we'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye. Have a blessed day.